And yes, you read the title. Ambush Node, baby. It is out. So, I did complete it like a few days ago, and I did record my runs, of course, but I'm going to be structuring my Ambush Node videos differently than my Shiyu Defense, and also the Shiyu Defense videos are going to be structured differently going into the future, and that's because, well, I'm only going to be showing the hard nodes. So, basically for Shiyu Defense, it's just going to be 5, 6, and 7, and then for Ambush, it's just going to be node 4 and 5. So yeah. Well, anyways, without any further ado, well, it's time to jump into Ambush Node. So, well, here are my Ambush Node runs. Hope you guys enjoy.
Your weak spot.
Amateurs. Amateurs. Not bad.
Alrighty. Move it.
By your wheel.
Take this.
Alright then, switch out.
Clear out.
Time to clean the field.
Shark Nami. On duty. Hold again. Justice will be served.
Final warning!
Just give up. Don't get sloppy. Face the consequences.
Never count out subset.
Mind your manners. Just give up.
Here's a taste of the abyss.
Victory's mine! You asked for it! Ambush! I'll win it! End of story! I'm hurt now! Can't be dead yet!
Take a break, Piper. Come on, face me head on.
Clear the road! Kick into gear! Load up and roll out! Direct hit!
Not even close. Victory is in sight.
Clear the road! You got it. Nothing to it. Catch this one.
Ready.
Out of my way!
Face the consequences. Huh? Huh? You?
Good work.
Move it!
Hit him where it hurts. I'll make it painless.
On duty.
in the darkness.
There's nowhere to hide.
Now, you're the prey. Oops, sorry. Found your weakness. Careful. I bite.
Mind your manners.
You've had your chance!
Catch him off guard.
Leave it to me. Keep attacking.
Following orders.
No use resisting.
Guess what? Move it.
One falls swoop.
It won't hurt for long, I promise.
You've had your chance!
Hit him where it. Here's a taste of the abyss. Want some more?
Impeccable. Justice will be served.
Who's the hunter and who's the prey?
You've had your chance!
Found you. The final act begins now. I'll make it painless.
And that is it for Shiyu Defense Ambush Node. So I'm going to be talking about the same thing like I do in my Shiyu Defense videos. I'm just going to be talking about Node 4 and 5 and well, my tips, tricks, strategies, or my thoughts and opinions on it. So without any further ado, let's just get started. So Node 4. Node 4 is honestly really hard. To be honest, if you don't have the weaknesses, then you're going to be in for a tough time usually, because well, we have Jane. Yeah, Jane. Jane is really annoying, as well as also we have a really annoying enemy. You know how much I hate Thanatos. Well, he's here too. So well, these two are extremely annoying for their own reasons, but I am just going to be talking about Thanatos first since he is in the first half. So Thanatos, what does he do? He shoots arrows, he does teleports. Yeah, he literally is really annoying. He's annoying in Shiyu Defense, and that's because in Shiyu Defense, in the critical node, he literally wastes your time by teleporting, but in ambush node, he's manageable, and that's because there is no time limit. So yeah, I guess the only thing you probably have to watch out for is how he shoots his arrows. Those things hit hard. You do not want to get hit by those. And he also does a ton of damage too on all of his attacks, so you just don't want to get hit in general. He's just really annoying, but I'm pretty sure if you do know how Thanatos goes, if you know how Thanatos attacks, then you should be fine. I mean, literally there's only one enemy in this node So yeah, it's just gonna be Thanatos. So at least all you have to do is focus on one enemy. So yeah. As for the second half, Jane though. So Jane, she loves to move around a lot. She loves to do red attacks, by the way. Yep, red attacks. So good luck trying to dodge those. Also, she does love to move around a lot. And loves to mess you up. She also has very fast attacks that are pretty hard to dodge. So well, you can practice her attack patterns, but the thing is she's like kind of fast, really. So you basically have to anticipate all of her moves. She is basically just you have to know when she attacks. If you don't, then get ready to lose half your health. Yeah, that's how much damage she's able to do. She also does stun lock you, aka hit stun you, so make sure to avoid that, because if she does a full combo on you, well, mostly all your health is going to be gone at that point. There are ways to counter her, of course. You can use shielders. Shielders can basically bypass what Jane is able to do. So Seth or Caesar or Ben, you can just use those defense characters. They're pretty good. You can also try to dodge her attacks. Her attacks are pretty sort of telegraphed, so you can just dodge and then counter accordingly. But Jane is really just a tricky enemy. You won't get what I mean unless you do fight her yourself. She is really tricky. So I guess the best advice I could give you guys is literally just anticipate all of her moves, try to counter accordingly. So yeah, I mean, I struggled on this fight, and well, the only reason why I survived is because Seth's shield is just too good. So yeah, and also stunners like Chingy, Lycon can work too, but you probably not want to bring Lycon because she is resistant to ice. But any other stunner should be okay as long as you know when she attacks and counter accordingly, of course. So yeah. As for, well, the team I used, of course, since the enemy's weak to ice, I just use mono ice. And then since the enemy's weak to physical, I just use Jane Doe. So yeah, Jane versus Jane. Yeah. And now it's time to talk about node 5, or the 5th frontier. So this node is really difficult if you don't have the right characters, and that's because these enemies are really annoying to deal with if you don't have like certain things that make it easier. So in this case, it's shielders. This floor and this node in particular, they want you to use anomaly characters. As you see here, increases anomaly build-up rate. So well, what do they have for first half and second half? Yeah, the new chapter 4 enemies. So Pulchra and Moors. Yeah, those are your two big threats on this floor. They also are accompanied with the Typhon Challenger, who is a really big robot with very annoying moves. He loves to shoot missiles. He does machine gun crap. He loves to bash at you. He's just really annoying. And we also have the Wanted Enforcer, who also loves to attack relentlessly. So yeah, you have very annoying enemies on this node. So the best thing you can do is bring shielders to basically have a safety net in case you do get hit, or a get out of jail free card if you do get hit. But well, I guess I can just talk about these enemies in greater detail, so that way you guys are basically kind of well prepared. So Typhon Challenger, this guy loves to do certain red attacks, aka shoot missiles. So you best want to avoid that unless well, you love to get hit stunned by the missile for some reason. But yeah, he's really annoying. He's big body too, so he can shield Pulchra if he wants to. If he does that, well, crap, you can't AoE crowd control Pulchra with the Typhon Challenger. You basically want them grouped together, that way you could watch their attacks. Because if the Typhon Challenger goes in front of Pulchra, well, Pulchra is not really like well seen, so it does mess you up a bit if the Typhon Challenger is just aggroing you while Pulchra's in the background doing her own thing. It's just really annoying. As for Pulchra, she loves to do a lot of attacks. You just have to anticipate all of her moves. She's just that type of enemy where she loves to move around and then attack you a lot, and also attack you at like the worst times possible. So well, the best advice I could give you, and the best thing you should do, is if you don't want to deal with the behind the back attacks, so basically any attacks that can't be seen, then deal with Pulchra first, because Pulchra is really annoying, and the fact that well, she is just going to be attacking you relentlessly, as well as the Typhon Challenger. And plus, she is small body too, so you can't really see her that well, especially if the Typhon Challenger is blocking your point of view, which sucks. So if you want to not deal with that, you can just defeat Pulchra first. If you don't want to deal with the relentless bashings and attacks, as well as the red attacks, then defeat the Typhon Challenger first. Either way, you want to kill one of these enemies first. That way, you basically only have to deal with one enemy on the field. So yeah. Well, I guess the advice here is take out at least one of them. That way you can manage the other. So yeah, that's my advice for you guys. As for the second team right here, this is also really annoying too. It's just as equal as the first half. You have the Troublemaker and Moors. Moors loves to do a lot of red attacks, and that's because he has a ranged weapon. You do not want him to shoot that at you and land that hit, because if he does, well, get ready to get hit stun into a Troublemaker jump attack. Yeah, so you basically have two options, just like the first half. One, you take out Moors, that way you don't have to deal with red attacks. Two, if you don't want to deal with relentless attacks, defeat the Troublemaker. Either way, you just have to defeat one of them. So yeah, both of these enemies are really, really annoying for their own reasons. So yeah, but there is a pattern here. One is physical attacks. So for, in this case, the first one is Pulchra. She's going to be mainly doing physical attacks. And then, well, the second enemy in the lineup is the ranged attacker. So for, in this case, it's the Typhon Challenger. Same with the second half of Node 5. You have the ranged attacker, Moors. You have the physical attacker, the Troublemaker. So you just want to deal with any of the enemies that you can't like really deal with yourself. So if you can't handle ranged, then deal with Moors. If you can't handle physical, then deal with Troublemaker. So yeah, basically just defeat whoever makes you like really uncomfortable to fight, and then you basically have an easier time beating this. So yeah, that's my advice for you guys. Well, anyways, that is it for my opinions and well, tips on discussion stuff about this ambush. I would say it is a pretty fresh it's pretty fresh well, content for everyone, because well, all we have right now is literally just critical node of Shiyu Defense. So yeah, ambush node is a pretty nice change of pace, and plus it resets with every version update, which is pretty nice. So yeah, well, anyways, enough about that. It's time to talk about my teams. I'm not going to be discussing my teams on the 4th node. I'm going to be discussing them on the 5th node, because that is the hardest node. So yeah, well, anyways, without any further ado, let's talk about my team. So my team right here is I guess it's just kind of scuffed in general, and that's because, well, you see the levels and you see the Bang Boo I use. Yeah, the SOC, or the Sons of Caledon team, is not complete. Yeah, and I still beat it, and that's because, well, a certain leader of the Sons of Caledon just made this like 10 times easier, and we'll talk about her shortly. But first off, the first member of the first half, or team 1, is Piper Wheel. Piper Wheel was our first member of the team. So Piper Wheel, as you see here, sure, her AP is at 300, so it's basically basic, really. She has pretty decent attack. As you see here, she has AM, so she's able to basically proc assault a lot. She has energy regen, that way she's able to use her EX more. So yep. As for skills, I gave her, well, core level 3, 7 7 to all the other stats, and then 11 to her main skill, which is EX. Of course, the reason why I leveled up EX, of course, is because it does the most damage of her kit. It literally gives her a lot of things, like, as you see here, a lot of anomaly buildup. It gives her physical damage. It's literally all that she is. So yeah, EX is her way to go. It's her spin to win. So yeah. As for core, I didn't level it that much, and that's because, of course, I don't have any mats for it. I wish I did, but I don't have Denny's. I need to save Denny's for future agents. So yeah, but it was decent enough. I mean, 2.6 physical anomaly buildup is okay. It was enough to basically let her get the job done. She was able to get at least like 100k assaults in, which I know it's not that great. It's not as great as Jane Doe, but keep in mind that Jane Doe increases assault damage by crit rate crit damage. Piper doesn't. So yeah, that was based off of raw stats. So yeah, 300 AP EX with core level 3. Like, that's actually pretty impressive. So yeah. Well, anyways, let's move on to the equipment I gave her. As see here, I have her main W engine, of course. Even though it is a attack percent W engine, it still works fine because of how her kit works. So yeah, I just gave her her own W engine. As for stat bonuses right here, I gave her these. So 4-piece Freedom Blues is definitely her best set. And that's because you get anomaly buildup res, which is pretty good. It means that she's able to trigger a lot of assault damage. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Since she does use EX a lot, I opted for 2-piece Swing Jazz. The more energy she gets, the longer her EX lasts. So that is why I gave her 2-piece Swing Jazz. So yeah. Well, as you see here, her W engine, we can show it right here, literally gives her a lot of attack and anomaly proficiency and build-up rate. So that is the reason why I gave her Roaring Ride. It's her best W engine. So yeah. And that is it for Piper. Piper is pretty cool. I would say she is a slept-on character, and that's because she didn't get the help she deserved until now, because we do have the Sensei Caledon team. So yeah. And I also forgot to mention MC6. Yeah, she's MC6. MC6 Piper is pretty cool. She gets a lot of mileage. Like right here, she's able to extend power duration, which is pretty good. It's honestly one of her best Mindscape cinemas, and that's because all of her stuff revolves around her power stacks. The more power stacks you have, the more damage you do. So that is basically just Piper's gameplay in general. So yeah. Well, anyways, that is it for Piper Wheel. Pretty cool character. Pretty slept on, really. If you do have the chance to build her, I would say build her. She's honestly pretty worth it, especially if you don't have Jane. So yeah. Well, anyways, the second member of the Sensei Caledon team of Team 1 is Caesar King, who is the Overlord. So yeah. As you see here, she has pretty good impact, crit rate, crit damage right there, as you see there. Pretty high attack too, especially since she doesn't scale off of attack. But yeah, crit rate, crit damage is basically the golden ratio. You have, of course, physical damage bonus. That way she's able to counter attack back with high power. She also has impact, because the more impact you have, the better your shield is. So yeah, that's basically it. And also the better she is at stunning, of course. As for the skills right here, I just gave her the bare minimum. I basically minimally built her, so it's core level 5, and then 7 to all skills. Core is pretty good. Honestly, I would say it's the best thing to level up. Of course, every single agent's core is the best thing to level up, besides like a few certain characters, of course. But the reason why I had to level her core up like first is because she gets shield based off of her impact, and it scales off of core level. So for core level 5, it's 1100. If I didn't level this up, it would be at 900, which is a 200% non-difference. So yeah. So definitely you should level this up, because it is really good. The more impact you have, the longer your shield will stay up. So yeah, it's pretty good. It is not a sleeper at all. So yeah. And of course, if you do have a skill that you want to level up, or if you have a choice to level up the skill, it has to be EX. EX is just way too good. It's what her main kit is. When she uses a counter on EX, she's able to generate shield. She doesn't even need to counter with it anyway. Countering just makes her increase her impact, but still it is pretty good regardless, since it does have her way to pull up the shield. Her additional is also pretty good too. It literally does just give you more impact. It's just pretty great. So yeah, she also does put debuff as well. Debuff is pretty good, 25% to all enemies, which is pretty good. It means that you're able to do 25% more damage. So yeah, it's pretty nice. You definitely do want to go out of your way to do a counter. So that is why I just leveled this up too. So yeah. As for equipment right here, it's the basic set, really. It's her best set in general. So we have 4-piece Protopunk. Yes, the new disc set. Protopunk is extremely good, especially since you are going to be using defensive assist and evasive assist a lot with Caesar anyway. You have to go out of your way for those because it's pretty good. You get increased 15% damage. That's pretty nice. And since you are going to be using it a lot, it basically stacks on her core, which gives you an additional 25% more damage. So yeah, it's pretty great to have. She also, well, I gave her Shockstar Disco as 2-piece because the more impact she has, well, again, the longer her shield lasts and the more stun she is able to output. So yeah. And of course, as for her W engine, of course, I gave her Tusks of Fury. It is her best W engine. Gives her impact, increases shield, increases the damage you deal and the days that you deal. So it's pretty good. And as for MC, it's MC0. Again, as I always say, S ranks don't really need MC to be good, and Caesar's one of the exceptions too, because, well, her shield is already good enough. So yeah. Well, anyways, that is Caesar King. Pretty nice agent. I would say she's probably like one of the best agents in the game. Like, she shares a spot with Ching-Yi. That's how good she is. So yeah. As for the third and final member of the Sons of Caledon team, we have Lucy, or Luciana de Montefiore of the Montefiore family. So yeah, she is pretty basic to build, honestly. I just gave her the typical sub DPS build. As you see here, she has good attack, she has crit rate, crit damage. I know the crit rate is a 41, but it's good enough. We also have energy regen, of course. The more energy regen she has, the faster she can get her boars out, of course. So yeah. No fire damage, by the way, and that's because I gave her attack percent on 5th disc, because the more attack she has, the more she gives on cheer on, and you'll see what I mean. So as for her core and skills, as you see here, Lucy is one of the few exceptions for the agents where core is not the most important thing to level up. It's her EX. Yeah, because the cheer on effect scales off of her EX. As you see here, increases all allies attack by a certain percentage. So yeah, it's pretty good. You want to level this up. It's extremely imperative that you want to. That's because she's able to give attack to all party members. This means, in my team specifically, she gets increased attack for Caesar, Piper. So yeah, it's extremely important to level up her EX. It's her most top priority stat. As for her core, it's not really that important unless you do love the guard boars for some reason. But you're able to get increased attack, impact, and anomaly proficiency. So all the boars will inherit that. And also the buff gets increased by 150% under cheer on. So they're basically, all the boars get the cheer on effect, which is pretty nice. But since the boars are going to be getting hit stun for the most part, yes, the boars can be hit stun. It's not really that useful, but cheer on is definitely her most useful thing, which is why I just leveled that up, of course. As for equipment right here, it's just your typical Lucy set. So we have 4-piece swing jazz. This is definitely her best set, and that's because she's a support. When she does launch a chain or ultimate, which is pretty often since you are going to be using Lucy for chain, you are getting 15% increased damage, which is pretty nice. So yeah, and of course I gave her 2-piece attack or 2-piece hormone punk. and that's because the more attack she has, the more she gives on cheer on. So yeah, she's basically just an attack scaler. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah. And of course, as for the W engine of choice, I gave her Kaboom the Cannon. This is her signature W engine. Literally gives increased attack to all, of course, her boars. And her boars just do decent damage too. But MC6 is where she truly shines. But sadly for me, I only have her at MC1. So she literally only does, yeah, that's it. As for MC6, she just becomes a literal nuker. But I don't have that. So yeah, this is what I just have. We just have a MC1 Lucy. So yeah. Well, anyways, that is it for Luciana de Montefio. And as for the Bang Boo of choice for that first team, we have Bang Volver. Bang Volver is pretty good. I wish I did have the Sons of Caledon Bang Boo, aka Red Mochus, but I don't have Red Mochus. So the best thing I could give, since Piper is a physical agent, and since Caesar's also physical, and well, Bang Volver gives 100% more anomaly buildup to party members as long as you have 2 physical characters, I went with Bang Volver. Bang Volver is the best choice for me, and that's because, again, Piper will just benefit from this exponentially, since it does just give more anomaly buildup. It's pretty good. So yeah, it's really good. That way you're able to just get a lot of anomaly chains, and also assault everywhere. So yeah, and that is it for the first team. It's just Sons of Caledon. I wish I did have Red Mochus to finish it, but this is fine too. I mean, you saw it right there. I beat Node 5 with it. So yeah. And as for the second team to showcase, we have well, we have PubSec. Yeah. So I guess this node really is just, I just used their factions. Yep, this is just a whole faction team. So the first character of the second half, or team 2, is Jane Doe, the undercover investigator. So Jane Doe, honestly, she is pretty good. Honestly, I would say she's the MVP of this whole ambush thing, and that's because, in my opinion, Jane is the best character in ambush node ever. Yeah, no one can change my opinion on that. She's busted, broken, absolutely busted. The only other character that could basically contend with her, and I would say is equal, is Caesar King. Yeah, because Caesar King gives you shield, that way you don't die in ambush node. For Jane, she has 3 dodges. 3 dodges before she's able to go into cooldown. You not know how broken that is? That is busted. And also, since you're going to be dodging and countering a lot, you basically get into your passion state faster. Yeah, you see my reason why I say that Jane is the best agent in ambush node? That's because her whole mechanic, her whole thing, she could literally just solo ambush. That's how good she is. So, anyways, let's talk about the, thing. So, I see here she is basically, at, well, that level, of course, just like all my other, agents right here. So, yeah, 50, 50. Lucy is 40, but they're still able to perform well. But, yeah, 50. I see here she has high attack. The more attack you have, the higher your assault damage, which is why I opted for that. AM, of course, the more AM you have, the faster you, inflict assault. Anomaly proficiency, of course, because the more AP you have, the higher your physical damage is. And of course, physical damage, because she's a physical damage DPS. So yeah. As for skills right here, she is at core level 4. Definitely a must level too, because you get more crit rate when you do your core skill, which is pretty easy to get since you are going to be attacking the enemy a lot. So yeah, this is just her main way to deal damage. The more crit rate she gets, the more crit damage she's able to basically perform. And, well, eventually, if you do have a lot of AP, she gets guaranteed crits. So, yeah. And as for the skills, they're all level 7. Her skills are pretty good in general. Most of them are pretty useful, so you can just level these up. Except for maybe assist, because you don't really use it that much. But, it's nice to at least have, like, 1 parry, of course, and then just do damage with it. But, of course, obviously, her main things you want to level up is, of course, basic dodge. That is what she's going to be doing most of the time in there. So that is why I opted for those first. And, of course, the core as well. So, yeah. As for equipment right here, I gave her basically the bare necessities, and also like the obviously the best set for her, of course. She has 4-piece Fang Metal. It is her best set because she's able to trigger Assault a lot. So when you do that, you're able to deal 35% more additional damage, which is, again, just easy for her since she does get Anomaly build-up when she is in the Passion state. So yeah. As for 2-piece set, I gave her Anomaly Proficiency. Again, the more AP you have, the higher your damage is on Assault. So yeah, it's pretty good. As for the W engine, I gave her Sharpened Stinger. This is her signature W engine and her best W engine. She gets physical damage and she gets Anomaly build-up rate. So it's pretty great on her. And of course for Mindscape Cinema or MC, she is at MC 0. She is also one of the characters who doesn't need MC to be good. But yeah, her MC 1 is pretty great. Because you do get Passion State faster, and she also gets 1 additional Shell Chill jump, which is her basic attack. It's when she does the Beyblade move. But her MC1 literally gives her 1 extra Shell Chill jump, so you can just use 2 consecutively if you want. But she doesn't really need it, again, because she's just that good. Anyways, that is Jane Doe. Jane Doe is honestly pretty cool. I would say she's the MVP of the second team, so yeah. As for the second member, we have Seth Lowell, the rookie officer of the PubSec. So yeah. As for Seth right here, he's honestly like one of the easiest characters to build in the game, and that's because all you need is attack. That's it. That's all you need. Besides attack, of course, since he is going to be using EX a lot, I opted for energy regen. The more energy regen you have, the faster you get your EX back. And since he does love to use EX into charge normal, that is the reason why I just gave him a lot of ER. So yeah. As for attack, of course, speaking of kit, the more attack you have, the more you get your shield. So yeah, it's pretty imperative that you do want to give him a lot of attack, because the more attack you have, again, the more shield you get. Which is pretty nice. Also, he's a perfect support for Jane. And that's because when you pass off the shield, you get a 100 anomaly proficiency bonus, which is pretty nice. And as long as you have the shield up, that's permanent. So yeah. The only problem is that you do have to refresh the shield, because it only lasts up to a certain amount of time, which sucks. But still, it is pretty nice that you do get the anomaly proficiency, which is pretty cool. Of course, as for skills, he has all 7s right here. He's one of the few agents where you don't even need to level up his skills, because all of his main supportive capabilities are in his core. So I would say just level up his core if you don't want to level up his skills. As for equipment, of course, I gave him the standard support build. So I gave him 4-piece swing, because when you do a chain, you do more damage. I also gave him 2-piece hormone punk, because again, the more attack he has, the better his shield is. So yeah. And as for his W engine of choice, Peacekeeper Specialized, it has a base attack of, well, right here. It has high base attack, high attack percentage. It gives him energy regen, and also more follow-ups, which is pretty great. So yeah, since he is probably going to be triggering shock a lot with Qingyi, because he is specifically meant to like just go with like Jane or Qingyi or stuff like that, because it does, again, as you see here, increase anomaly buildup. It's pretty great on him, honestly. So you're gonna be triggering shocks a lot, you're gonna be triggering assaults. It's pretty great overall. As for MC, of course, he's at MC1. MC1 is pretty nice. I mean, you get more shield limit, which is pretty good. But his MC6 is really great, and that's because he becomes a nuker. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I would say, if I do get more dupes, that would be greatly appreciated, because I do love to use Seth a lot. So, well, ZZZ, maybe throw me a bone with A-rank sets. Same with the Lucy, by the way. I want more Lucy dupes. So yeah. But there is Seth Lowell. Pretty basic overall. He's like honestly the easiest character to build in the game, honestly. So yeah. And that's it for Seth. Now we have the final member of Team 2. We have Qingyi, who is like 500 plus years old. Automation. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. So Chingy's pretty good. I've been a Chingy fan ever since she was like first released, because well, playing her feels so easy. It's like literally like one of the easiest characters to play in the game besides Jane. That's how easy she is. I would say this though, I do love Caesar a lot too, so I am just like flip-flopping saying which is the best character for me. But Chingy is still up there. She's pretty great. So for Chingy, she is at level 60, and that's because I use her a lot. She also has these stats right here. Attack, because well, if you want to do damage, then you can, right? As for impact, of course, I gave her really high impact. The more impact she has, the higher her stun is. Energy regen, she does get EX a lot. Her EX basically lets her go into third basic, which is why I gave her some energy regen. Electric damage bonus too. Since she does love to spam her third attack a lot, might as well squeeze in some extra damage. So it's the main reason why I gave her attack as well. So yeah. As for skills right here, I didn't level up that much, but her core is definitely her first level up, and that's because you increase the stun damage multiplier, which is pretty great for Chingy. And plus, it's a pretty broken stun damage multiplier too. You can have up to 80% stun damage multiplier. That's dumb. That's really dumb. This means that Chingy is going to be nuking. Well, she's gonna be either nuking with herself if you are running main DPS Chingy, or someone else is gonna nuke for her. Either way, the enemy is probably going to die. So yeah. As for skills right here, I gave her 7 on basics and then the rest with 6. Since all of her main stuff is on basics right here, I leveled this up with like more priority. That's because Enchanted Moonlit Blossoms is basically just her thing. You just build up Flash Connect. Once you build up Flash Connect, you can just do Enchanted Moonlit Blossoms, which is just all her gameplay really. Of course, you can just level up EX too. It does let her go into third basic, so yeah, it's pretty great overall. But either way, that is what I leveled her up as you see here. As for equipment right here, I gave her the standard for every stun agent. So what is that basically? 4-piece Shock Star, because again, well, you just do more days. 2-piece Swing Jazz, which is pretty great as well because her EX lets her go into her third basic. So yeah. As for the W engine of choice, Ice Jade Teapot, which is one of the most broken W engines in the game because you literally get more impact up to 30 times, by the way, and then 20% increased damage to all party members. It's just as good as Caesar's. That's how broken it is. So yeah. And as for MC0, just like every other S rank, she doesn't need MC to be good. But MC1 literally has a way for her to build up Flash Connect really fast, which is busted too. It means that she's able to stun even faster than before. So yeah. And as for the final member of Team 2, we have the PubSec Officer. You might be wondering, why not choose someone like Plugboo or something like that? Well, that's because Plugboo increases anomaly buildup for electric. So that means you get to trigger stun. Guess what? I don't have any stun anomaly agents on the team. Chingy and Seth are just there to basically just trigger disorder. So the next best thing is Officer Kui, which gives you 35% increase chain damage. Yeah. And also, since he does hit pretty hard, you can't just run him because why not? So yeah, this Bang Boo literally gives you 35% increased damage. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? So yeah. And that is basically it for the Shiyu Defense ambush node. Honestly, I would say it is pretty difficult, especially if you don't have the proper teams. So what I would say here is build your best possible team and hopefully you do beat it. That's because there is no time limit, so you don't have to run like fast teams. You can just literally take it slow. You can take as much time as you want, and you can beat it in S rank like in no time. So yeah, I would say this. Good luck, everyone. Build your characters and attempt this. It is pretty good. Free polychromes. So yeah. And that is it for the Shiyu Defense ambush node video. If you do guys enjoy this type of video and if you want to support the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It really does mean a lot if you do support the channel. Helps me keep me motivated, making more videos and pumping out more content for you guys. So again, thank you guys so much for all the support. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So again, thank you. As for the comments, what do you think of the ambush node? You think it's cool? You think it's bad? What do you think about it in general? You think it's easy as well, or you think it's hard? And also, do you want to see more ambush node content in the future? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching this ambush node video, and I'll see you guys in the next gotcha video.